And now, back to PTR Radio.
I made a little list of some of the things that you discuss. Bestiality, abortion, AIDS, Irishmen who drink, nuns, premature ejaculation, breastfeeding, and farts.
This is PTR Radio.
And welcome, everybody, to another edition of PTR Radio. Here on the fabulous interweb are the only solace that we have right now in this crazy, crazy world. I think we can say that with 100% certainty, can't we? Mike is breaking his chair.
My chair. No, my chair's already broken. That's the problem. I tried to...
Go ahead.
So there's a little like axle in the middle, right? And like when I rock, I can feel it rocking like catty corner.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that it's like plastic bushings around that little axle, and one of them broke.
Oh,
so
no.
now I rock like the base ain't moving, but I got lateral instability.
Oh, yeah, that's a big word for this early in the show.
So when I tried to lock it so I wouldn't recline, thinking maybe that would be better for me tonight.
Yeah.
No, it locks, but it locks crooked. So I got like a gangster lean. No,
nobody.
Can't do it. Sorry.
Nobody likes a crooked lock. We know that for certain. And Mike, I'm on it. I am bringing up the toy for you because I think we're gonna get some hopefully something. We're gonna get some buy-in, something. I don't know. Something's happening tonight.
This is legitimately speaking. This could be the first show that for the first 90 minutes. We talk about nothing but what happened since the last show, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. And
because in the middle of this pandemic, things can always get worse.
One thing's for sure, they're not getting better. They're not getting any better.
Second thing's for sure, this is delicious.
Yeah.
We all had something happen. Major failures of things.
Yeah, major failures, minor accomplishments, not even really minor accomplishments. And so if you notice the title for tonight's show, Drunk and Ready to Fight, Mike is on the way, and I will be, in a while. Right now, I got home 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago. I left the house at 10 o'clock this morning. I got home 30 minutes ago. And the only time that I have not been in the car, I've been in the courtroom or in the waiting room of the courtroom.
Oh.
I've been in the courthouse. And the only ray of sunshine was a little baby pig on the stairs. That tells you how Bumble F the courthouse was. All right. This is straight out of like Doc Hollywood Bumble F. All right. So also for those of you that are curious, we're trying something new tonight. We are we're streaming in a lot of places. We're going out. We're trying to hit everybody because we know that everybody's craving entertainment. By now, at this point in the pandemic, you've hit the end of the internet, okay? You have reached the end of the internet. All right, you're done with Hulu. You've maxed out Netflix. You're looking at Tubby.
If you go on YouTube and you're literally looking for FDR American Badass because you've run out of things to watch and that's your final option, that's why we're here.
Yeah. So tonight we are on Facebook, as always. We're on Twitch, which has been our new thing. We're on YouTube, which is our old thing. And Mike, tonight we're broadcasting on Periscope, which is our never thing. All right, we've never done that before, and I don't know what it is, so I'm not sure. I went, oh, I like the movie down Periscope. Let's try that. All right, maybe Kelsey Grammer started a streaming service. I don't know.
Have you tried going live on Twitter yet?
I believe that is Periscope, but I don't know. I don't know how to tweet stream.
Why not try to figure it out tonight?
Do we have to broadcast in 160 seconds or less? I don't know.
Let's tempt fate. Why not?
Well, the thing is, we have now, we have at least temporarily signed up for Restream, so that we don't have to kill our bandwidth. So here are some additional avenues that we could stream through, Mike.
Oh,
all right,
Lord,
No, this is important. We could broadcast on LinkedIn, where the professionals live. All right, because
do not do that. Do not check that box.
We could broadcast on Daily Motion, whatever that is.
That was like that's like a video site, but okay. Go ahead.
On Hawaii, which seems to be a Chinese or Japanese. Sorry, I'm lumping you all in together. It is an Asian broadcasting platform.
That's even worse.
I'm sure that they would love us. Or ZingQ.TV, or Bilibili, or Africa TV. I don't know what nationality that is. It is AFREECA TV. Africa?
That's not. I don't think that's a nationality. I think that's a nation of freaks.
Oh, okay. We could start broadcasting on Major League Gaming. Go with the rest of our Twitch following. Live education ecosystem. We are a very educational
Absolutely
show.
Don't do that one. We are not educational unless it's the do not attempt this at home.
How about OK.ru? The Russian Federated State streaming network.
We're going to talk about Russian Federated State later when we do the movie review.
Okay.
Yes, I have that in my notes.
Or evidently, there's one called Vaughn Live. So I don't know if Vince Vaughn started a streaming network, or maybe it's Rick Vaughn from Major League. That is all the Vaughns that I know.
All right. I'm going to tell you that the toy is
or
not
here,
working because...
There's one called Vapors.tv, Mike. That sounds like something we should be on. Is that... do you know that?
Okay. Okay. See? And Dune would know. Dune would know if it's a Korean streaming site. Dune would know. Why? He's big in Korea.
Which Korea? Which Korea is an important decision for us to make.
You really have to ask that question.
Well, I'm just... If we got big with Kim Jong-un, it could take us places.
Now,
maybe he's dead.
It's on the list. If it's on the list, one we probably should think about is Discord.
Discord's not on the list. So
Dune probably broadcasts to all of these.
Oh, I'm sure.
He just said, you know what? If it's an option, I'm doing it. He said Vaughn and Vapors are the same site also. So you know what? I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I just work here.
Just so you're aware, what I am drinking tonight is Screwball peanut butter whiskey.
Oh.
And damn, it's delicious.
Peanut butter whiskey. It's not something that I necessarily would have picked. I did find a peach Irish whiskey.
It's whiskey in the sense of like Fireball being whiskey.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's not bad. I think I have found a new good one, which is a peach Irish whiskey. That is pretty tasty. Now, unfortunately, I gave away my bottle, so I don't have it anymore. I have to go buy another bottle.
Why would you?
I gave it to my dad.
Okay, you could have just led with that.
Yeah.
Because whatever you gave, I gave it to my dad. As long as it's not an STD, you're supposed to give stuff to your dad.
That's true. That's very true. that one unique qualifier, I think that's true. Yeah. I can't think of anything other than that unique qualifier that you're not supposed to give him. Kidneys? Yes. Bone marrow? Mm-hmm. Yep, sure. Money? Yep, you betcha, just ask, it's yours. No, not STDs. That's,
Maybe the only exception would be is if it was it was part of a package deal with the hooker. I don't know.
Now, Mike, if you had to give your dad an STD, which one would you give him?
There's no right answer to this question.
Well, I'm just curious. Obviously you hold back the best STDs for your friends. But what secondhand STD would you give your dad? That's the kind of show you're in for tonight, folks.
I'll put that up as a poll on the. Let's see what happens there.
That's a great Twitter poll. If you had to give your dad an STD, which one would it be? All right. So
I'm trying to find an alternate acronym meaning, and the only one I could find quickly was Star Trek Discovery. I'm not sure which is better.
No, I wouldn't give him that one. I wouldn't give him that one. Oof. So, anyway, all right. So, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on in our lives. I think I talked about it on the last show that I had a bathroom remodel going on. And that
an involuntary bathroom.
Involuntary, bathroom remodel. This time, I got myself into I had two projects going on, one in my house and one in my church. Church, of course, as with all churches, as they're reopening, they're trying different things, right, to do services. So our church is doing what we call pods, because cults sounds bad. So we chose the word pods because that's much more effective to get people
like the moving containers.
No, and not like the old Body Snatchers movie either.
I was gonna say pod people.
So what it is like you see, basically it's like World War II encampments is what it is, really. So we take all the old people and we shuffle them off into their own little area, all right? And then we take all the people with children and we isolate them too into classrooms, and then they get to watch the service. It's kind of like the old days of WWE, right? When your town wasn't big enough to actually host the event. So like in Springfield, we could go to the convention center and we could watch it on closed circuit television because it wasn't on regular TV because we only had 10 channels. So we could go to the convention center and we could watch it broadcast there. I only remember because I did it once. So that's what happens is these people come to church, get sat in a classroom, and then get to watch TV of the service that's happening down the hall in an empty, room. Meanwhile, I said, I don't care about going to a physical building that much. I'm just going to stay at home in my PJs in bed.
Mm-hmm.
So that meant I had to, but because they wanted to be able to do that, I had to go and I had to wire all the rooms to be able to receive that broadcast. Yeah.
And he did follow it up with a smiley face, so he was joking. But
yeah. But
Waco, Jamestown.
Yeah. So I had that project, which was fun because it's a mixture of old construction, new construction. And but then the fun didn't end there. The fun came home. Because I decided that I would start to convert my house to a smart house. Now, I have several, Alexas around the house. I had to reach up and mute mine so that I don't just trigger it when I'm talking about it here.
Speaking of muting, let me.
So,
make sure mine's muted.
But I had several Alexas running around the house, and I've got one for like opening, closing the garage. I like opening, closing the garage door, turning on and off the alarm system, doing all that kind of stuff. But I thought, what really gets me is flipping switches. It's exhausting work. Who wants to do that when I can instead talk to a faceless, mindless canister sitting on the table, and 30 seconds later, my wish is granted, as long as it understood me.
I did a trial run of this
Mm-hmm.
in my house. We have under cabinet lights in the kitchen on one corner.
Ooh,
And
fancy.
all they are like plug-in LED pucks that are up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hooked them up to a smart outlet,
Oh, okay.
right? Smart plug. Not an outlet, a smart plug. An adapter thing. So, which, for the record, those things are the absolute best when it comes to Christmas lights because you're not messing. All your timers are set centrally, no matter where they're plugged in.
Yeah.
And that's where this came from. So I plugged the lights into that and set them up on a Amazon routine to turn on basically at sunset and turn off at sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, and this is how I discovered that Kim would not do well with that type of smart home. The problem is, if you want to turn them on any other time, you have to tell Alexa to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, see,
apparently that's a little too weird.
and that's where the plugs come in. That is odd. Now, I installed switches. Like, I replaced the physical light switch. And so you can still work it like a real switch if you want to turn on and off the light.
So the switch is basically A or B. And if you turn it on via Alexa or a routine, you just flip it the other way regardless. So actually, it's not dedicated off or on, right?
It's not a flip.
Am I understanding
It's not
right?
a switch like a typical switch. You know the rocker switches? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine
Still
that.
a switch.
Right. Imagine that, but only the bottom half. All right. It's just basically a toggle where you tap it once and it turns it on, and you tap it again and it turns it off. So it's just a
like
little
an old
momentary
push button.
Kind of, yeah. Except for it doesn't. It's just actuating a little sensor in the
So
back.
it's like a click. It's almost like the clapper, but instead of clapping, you're just touching it.
Yeah, it's a clicker. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, like this was a very old school version of it, right? So this turned on and off an electrical outlet.
I know that shit don't say touch and glow.
Yeah, it does because it was used for it. Old school. This was your Alexa, and you just put this on your keychain, and you could turn on and off your lamp.
Kids, if any of your parents have a computer that's that same color plastic,
Yeah.
that may be worth money. That's called putty.
Yeah.
They don't make that anymore.
Yeah. So, but that's all it is. So you just click it, and it sends a signal saying turn on. You click it again, it sends a signal to me turned off. That's what these switches do. No, I don't have. I don't have children at home anymore.
His remotes are grown, which is the equivalent of being out of batteries, and Shaggy is too lazy to replace it.
Well, here's
one way, and you can take that however you want. Replace the batteries, replace the kids. I don't know.
Here was my use case, because I'm like, okay, before I do this, I need to have a good use case for it. Any of you PMs out there, you know the word use case.
You are so a programmer/engineer. Go ahead.
So, all right. So, my wife at night, she leaves the bedroom light on so that she can read a book or whatever, but I cannot sleep with the light on. Well, she sleeps by the light switch, and inevitably, I either have to get out of bed, go around, turn off the light, and then walk back in the darkness to my side of the bed, or tell her goodnight. She gets the hint. She stretches over with the remote and slaps the light switch down, okay, to extend her reach. And I thought, this is a horrible idea.
Low-cost solutions here. No. First one, switch sides of the bed.
No.
Second one, okay, fine, whatever. Second one, move the bed closer to the light switch.
What, so that she doesn't have to use a remote, but she still has to do it?
Third,
I don't want to wake her up when she's sleeping.
Well, okay.
It's like a dog. You don't sleep. You don't wake up a sleeping wife. You might get bit.
Okay. No, fair point. Third point, or third solution, suck it up, Buttercup.
Well, or fourth solution, install a smart switch. I got my phone. Click. Now I can turn it off.
Wally, go ahead. So, okay.
Now I can turn it off from my side of the bed. which is the same reason why I have two television remotes, so that I can turn it off too.
About that. We have two remotes too, but we actually have three remotes. I have one on my nightstand that is its only function is to access the sleep timer, because DirecTV remotes do not have a sleep button on them. So, let's get to the meat of this. You had to phone a friend.
So I will say this: the other case I had, because this is where it comes important. All right, other case I had was the bathroom. The bathroom has 3 switches. 2 of them are for lights, and 1 is for a fan. All right. So here was my thing, right? So I have a switch for the light in the shower area and a switch for the fan in the shower area, and then I have a switch for a light in the vanity area. All right? So get up in the morning, you take a shower. Obviously, all 3 of the things are on, right? My routine is I then get out of the shower, I turn off the lights, but I leave the fan on because you want to get the moisture out of the bathroom. Well, I'm a lazy person. I didn't want to have to get back up and turn off the fan. Or if I decided to take a shower at night, I didn't want to have to get back up and turn off the fan. So I wanted to be able to tell Alexa to turn off the fan. So I have tried a clapper. It doesn't work. It's not nearly as good. And in fact, there's videos on that comparing clapper to Alexa. But so anyway, so that was my issue, was doing the bathroom, because I decided I would do the hardest switches first. I don't know what in my brain decided to do that. Let's do the 3 outlet one first before we work our way up. Because my plan was do the one in my office, 1 switch. Do the one in the bedroom, 2 switch. Then do the one in the bathroom, 3 switch. I should have worked my way up in complexity. I didn't, and I was dumb. So I take the 3 switches out of the box in the bathroom and then go, I probably should have taken a picture of how they were all hooked up. Because I got 5 Romex wires, and I don't have a clue how, even if I screw this up, how to put it back to the way it was. So I started this project at 4 o'clock on Saturday. I finished this project at about 3:30 on Sunday.
And this is just the bathroom.
This is just the bathroom. Now, granted, after I got the bathroom done and I learned how electricity works, then doing the bedroom only took me about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Hey, I tell my clients all the time, I don't deal with real electrical. I'll deal with low voltage because I know how it works over Ethernet and coax and all that kind of stuff, but I don't deal with regular 120. Because it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's magic. And I told my wife at one point, I'm like, all I can understand is I put a bunch of wires together and somehow magic happens and the wires know which switches go to them. Because everything just says put all the blacks together, put all the whites together, put the grounds together, and boom, you're done. It's not working, and even if it did work, I don't know how it would work. Because how would it know what goes where?
Well, see, here's the, I tried to do the same thing about a year ago. In our case, we wanted smart switches in the basement because we wanted to be able to turn the lights off if we forgot downstairs without having to actually go all the way downstairs to turn the lights off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually bought a switch. I was like, okay, I'll buy one and try to install it. And looking at it, it goes, okay, 3 wires. And I open up the light switch, and it has a wire going into the switch and a wire coming out of the switch. That was it. I'm looking at this going, what is going on? Because this says this. So I come to figure out that in the 70s, sometime in the 70s, is a switchover between when you had 3 wires going through and when you only had 1 wire going through.
When you had a neutral, basically.
Yeah, now you have a neutral. Back then, you just have the hot line going through, and you just put a switch in the middle of it to cut it.
Bridge or disconnect.
And I remember, I was like, okay, well, why don't they make them that can do it this way, for a way that most houses have it? Because I remember back in the 90s, we had a motion detector light switch, and that was a much older house. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it only had one wire going through. Why in the 90s could we have a light switch with an entire motion detector on it? And here in 2020, I can't. And do you know what the answer is?
The neutral is very important.
No, that's not the reason.
Why?
LED.
Oh, because the LED needs to run.
No, it's because back then in the 90s, all the lights were incandescents. Maybe fluorescence, but mostly incandescents. So the way that those motion detector light switches worked is they just always leaked power.
Mm.
They just let a little bit of power to go through, enough for the motion detector to have power.
Oh, yeah.
But an incandescent didn't have enough light going to it for it to actually turn on.
Oh, okay.
Well, LEDs don't care.
Right.
You give a little bit of power to an LED, it's fully lit up.
Yeah.
So if you have a 90s motion detector and you try to use an LED bulb on it, it's going to be like the motion detector broke because light never turns off.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, no. So I was using the Treat Light Smart Light Switch. So yeah, and of course I bought the 4-pack because why not? So I'm like, dang it, I'm going to use these. But I had to, I did. I had to phone a friend of mine who was an electrician, who basically had to tell me kind of how electricity works and what the wires were, because I was getting very confused with line and load and the colors therein, because it didn't make any sense to me. I kept telling my wife, I'm like, this has to be easy. This has to be more simple than I'm making it. And truth be told, my electrician buddy said, yeah, you had an idiot wire your house, because what you're telling me here and what actually ended up being correct doesn't make any sense for the way that this has to be wired. So, that I felt good about it at least. I'm like, well, at least I'm not a total idiot. Because if the electrician says, well, I would have never wired it this way to begin with, then good. I feel much better. And you would think that you would bring the hot in on either the far right or the far left, and then go to all your switches. At least that was my assumption. No. Out of these 5 different Romexes that are in this box, the hot is like second in from the left. So it was just crazy. So it took me almost 24 hours to wire up 3 switches and get everything working right. Huh?
Was it color coded?
No. I'll go into the switches. Here's how difficult this was for me. All right. The far left one, white, black, red, ground. All the other the other 4 wires, white, black, ground. Okay? Now, you say, well, that red's kind of important. And my electrician friend said, is there a 3-way switch in your bathroom? He goes, because the only reason you use the 3-conductor plus ground is if you have like a 3-way switch. And I'm like, no, our bathroom's pretty small. I don't know why you would need 2 different switches to turn things on and off. I'm like, nope, no. And he goes, that's really weird, because either the red or the black on that far left should be your live wire. Should be your line wire. Well, it wasn't. Turns out that what they did was the fixture that's in the shower area, which is a light fan combo unit, they're using the 3+ ground wire to power both of those things independently, so that they only have one wiring run to that fixture. So red is for the vent, black is for the light, whereas he said that should have been 2 different wires. That should have been 2 different lines of Romex.
Definitely.
So they have different hot, but they share
a ground,
neutral
neutral and ground. Yeah. And then I told him, yeah, what makes it more difficult is all the bathrooms in the house are on the same breaker. And he goes, what the what? And I said, yeah, even the basement bathroom, when I have this breaker off, is dark. I said, every bathroom is on one breaker. And he goes, well, that's against code. So
yeah, everything there is against code. That reminds me of my first real job when I was working here in town, for a real computer job. They had the phone lines and Ethernet lines going through the same cables.
Mm-hmm.
They just took different pairs and made someone, I remember they actually got a professional tester to come in, and they said, for the lines that were being used for Ethernet, they said, I don't think you can get a dial tone off this, according to our tests.
Yeah. So that was my kind of disaster weekend was getting through that, in addition to the wife wanting to finish all of the yard landscaping projects.
But you got a cement mixer, so that should have been easy.
I did get a cement mixer, and it is working out pretty well when it's not 110 degrees in the shade.
You know what? If you listened to Colin and I and didn't get the cement mixer, that was your karma moment. There you go.
No, it still would have been 110 degrees.
No, you wouldn't have run into all of these other issues.
Well, it could be, or it could just be that I'm just, destined for difficulty. But as I told my wife, I'm like, now you can bet I'm going to use the crap out of those light switches. I am going to just, while I'm working, randomly, and I know you're in the bedroom, just randomly start turning stuff on and off. Just so that you know, I'm so proud of those light switches.
Okay, so here, real quick, here's another reason why I know that wouldn't fly in our house right now. I discovered Alexa routines.
Mm-hmm.
And every day before Kim leaves for work, she tells the Echo in the back room to play local radio station for the dogs. Okay? Mm-hmm. I listened in one day and figured out exactly what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a routine that responded before it started playing it. Said, well, if you insist, but you should know that your godlike husband, Mike the Ape Man, would rather you play this station for the dogs. And she literally told me, take that off of there because it's too friggin' long before I leave.
Well, that's okay. My wife became upset at something I did. So we put fans up in the garage where we work out. But I also have an exhaust fan out there. All right. So for when I smoke cigars in the garage, I put in a big honking exhaust fan, and they're all hooked up to Alexa as well. Well, Alexa gets confused when you say, Alexa, turn on the fan versus turn on the exhaust fan. She says there are multiple things named fan because she only recognizes the last word. And so my wife was getting really upset because she couldn't turn the workout fans on and off. She goes, Lexi just won't even listen to me. You go tell her what to do. And so I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to make this easy, and I'll change the routine words. So now, if you go to work out and you want to be cool, you say, Alexa, blow me, and to turn on the workout fans. And then to turn them off, you say, Alexa, stop blowing me. Because I thought, well, it makes sense. And my wife just looks at me and shakes her head. And then yesterday, she comes in and she goes, what do I tell her to stop blowing? So, yeah.
Oh, look.
Okay.
So, Colin, what you got?
So I did want to. So the bathroom incident we actually did not talk about.
Okay. So
I did want to, your bathroom incident.
Okay. So the remodel, you mean?
The fact that you have carpet in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
that's what we're going. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So last weekend I had to do a emergency remodel of my bathroom because, what?
I'm mouthing to the listeners. Yes, carpet. We said carpet in the bathroom.
So when my wife had the house built, her jackass husband was cheap and didn't do several things she wanted to do, include one of which was tile or even linoleum the bathrooms. Instead, they had carpet, a thing which we have slowly been fixing. The one that we hadn't gotten to yet was the master bath. Well, we had overnight the other thing they cheaped out on when they were doing it was shutoff valves. They used the cheapest shutoff valves I have ever seen, and I have slowly been replacing all of them. Well, the one in our bathroom went faulty during the night and developed a fairly steady leak. And carpet has padding underneath, which is basically foam. So I get up in the morning and I have a sponge for a floor for the entire bathroom. I mean, it's wet. Like water coming up from your toes wet. So I go to the main, I shut off the water for the whole house, and I say, okay, well, we got a problem. We have to fix this. So I run over to the hardware store. I grab a new shutoff valve, and plumbing is something I've become very familiar with, so I didn't have any problems installing a new shutoff valve, and getting that there. But then it's like, okay, now what do you do? Well, everything's ruined, so pull up all the carpet, pull out all the padding, go through, pull out all the little staples that they put the padding down with, and now I'm like, all right, well, we might as well go ahead and just put down what we put down in the other bathrooms, which was that peel and stick, vinyl tile, the waterproof lock, vinyl tile system, and we're going to do hardwood floor in our bedroom whenever we redo it anyway, so we went with one that kind of looks like hardwood. And it looks really nice, but it was like 2.5 days or so of just knee-breaking work because it's like, all right, take the toilet out, put it in the bathtub, pull all the vents off, pull all the baseboard off, and all that stuff. So it was just a lot of work for me measuring and cutting and everything else. But the good thing is vinyl tile, you cut it with, like tin snips or a utility knife. And we used less than a box. A little bit more than one box. So a little bit more than like 60 square feet is what it ended up being. But looks good in the end. And, at the same time, I fixed the bunch of other stuff, little things in the bathroom that had been bugging us for a while. So, it was a long, couple days, but hey, we got it working, so that's all that mattered. But yeah, that was the first thing.
So the carpet that was there, was it the same carpet in the bathroom as it was in the bedroom?
Yes.
Because many years ago, I was looking at houses with my sister, and we went to this one house. They had on the second floor shag carpeting. Mm-hmm. And the shag carpeting just covered every single floor surface of the entire second floor. It was continuous all the way down the hallways and into the bathroom. And I just remember looking at the shag carpeting going, what moron thinks that shag carpeting should be in a bathroom, much less just the same shag carpeting covering it like a fungus that has grown into the entire.
I'll tell you what, when we took the shag carpeting out of the boys' bathroom, that was a hazmat job when I first remodeled theirs, because they had basically grown up in that bathroom. And, well, let's just say from the time that you start aiming to the toilet to the time that you actually figure out how to aim correctly is an eternity for carpet. So, thank God they didn't have cats. Otherwise, it would have been 10 times worse, but it was just horrible. So, yeah, it was just bad.
Yeah.
Ours, luckily...
People do not carpet bathrooms.
our floor, luckily, I had the biggest thing I had to do was just let the subfloor dry out a little bit. Luckily, it hadn't gotten too bad, so I didn't have to put 1/8 inch over top of it. I was able, and it was still nice and level. The kids' bathroom had so many toilets overflow, so much other damage and everything else after the years that they abused it, that I ended up having to put 1/8 inch sheeting over top of the floor before I could put tile down. So, yep. So no, we're just adding. At this point, we're getting to the point where we finished all the regular household projects, thanks to Corona, and so now it just seems like we're making stuff up to keep ourselves busy on the weekends. We're really not trying; it's just happening on its own. So, next in a few weeks we get a new refrigerator and freezer being delivered, which is going to be great. But that means I got to clean out the garage some more. So so there'll be some things going up on Facebook Marketplace if you're in the Springfield area and you're into either DJ supplies or you want some good deals on maybe some bicycles or some stuff like that you might be interested in. Mike, I don't think you want to pay for the shipping for a 22-inch powered subwoofer.
Probably don't.
No,
I think the shipping would be terrible.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's going to be a few things because our shed is supposed to be being built here within the next month. So, getting everything out of the way for that.
All right. So listen, if it doesn't sell,
Mm-hmm.
throw it in the trunk when you come out for the road trip in 2021.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by then Colin will have an SUV, so it should fit. And yeah. No, I'm going to be selling some passive speakers and some other stuff. I'm scaling back. Just scaling back because I'm digging this work from home life. Some people are saying it could go into the new year. So just kind of relaxing and taking it all in stride. As you can see, my flag collection is growing. So, does anybody know what flag this is?
Brown coats?
No.
You're close, I think, Mike. It's a sci-fi reference.
Yeah, he said brown coats. That's a sci-fi reference.
Okay. I think you're correct.
Okay.
Is it yes, it's
Firefly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Firefly flag serenity.
Yeah, so it's the independent flag. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch Firefly. My daughter just got it for me because she figured sci-fi and I'd be into it.
Yes. Well, they're called the brown coats.
Okay.
So what's going on here is my parents had their washer die on them. And I also haven't mentioned this, but they're getting ready for a full kitchen remodel.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, my parents just bought an RV. So.
My parents just got.
Go ahead, Mike.
My parents were completely excited when we went over there and brought bagels. I mean, so
what's going on in your life, Mike? I've been seeing a lot of I'm just going to kill everyone and they all need to die and today's the day where I just reach my limit posts on your Facebook account.
All right. So work is just I'm not even going to go there because that's what a lot of that stuff was about. So last week I took days off to replace deck boards in my backyard. I was able to acquire the lumber I needed despite the lumber shortage.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, this will be good. 90-degree weather. Not so good.
No.
My back is burned big time. My legs are like steel cables because from bending over and hunched because, of course, when this deck was built, it was built with deck screws, not nails.
Well, that's...
Nails you can just, if you have rotting wood, you can just pry up very easily. Deck screws you have to fight with in order to get them out if the wood beneath it is rotten.
Mm-hmm.
I had to rebuild part of the frame. And let's just say it tested my engineering skills because, damn it, it was 90 plus degrees out. I only got so much wood, and I'm not rebuilding completely. I know what the right way to do it is. I did it the MacGyver way. But once the boards are on top, you will not be able to tell the difference.
Okay.
Because nothing is moving. Everything is rock solid. If I had the ability, I would have just stacked pavers underneath them, and the boards could have just sat on the damn pavers. I don't care. So,
makes sense to me.
That was part one. Friday night, I'm exhausted at this point because I've had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days of out in the heat, carrying 12 or 14 and 16 foot 2x6s and cutting and Friday night, 10 o'clock. I'm sitting in my recliner thinking, finally can go to sleep. Kim starts screaming. Our two youngest dogs, Tyson and Evie, had an encounter with a skunk in the backyard.
Oh.
Evie, the 1-year-old pup, got it square in the face. She came in, her eyes were shut, she was foaming at the mouth, and she had little yellow droplets all over her forehead. Now, when a dog gets sprayed by a skunk, it's not the smell you smell when they get hit in the middle of the road. It's more like gasoline. Straight gasoline. So, once we finally ascertained that it is a skunk, we called our one friend Karen, who's a vet tech, and talked to her about it. She said, yes, what is it? Okay, it's a skunk. It's yellow, it's a skunk, no doubt. We get Evie into the bathtub and start washing her. Meanwhile, I'm out surveying the backyard to make sure Pepe Le Pew decided to take a hike. Tyson is rubbing himself all over everything he can find in the goddamn house. The couch, the carpets, the area rug, the bed, his bed, our bed, the walls, everything, every other dog bed. The smell is everywhere. Everything's got to come up. It's got to go. It's in contractors' bags until the next morning when we can get to it in the washer. Everything's going in the wash on hot with OxyClean and in sanitize mode. And I place an order before we go to sleep at midnight because it took 2 hours for us to finally bag everything up and get, Evie got her bath. Tyson got his first ever indoor bath because he freaks out about every damn thing. Dog gets scared when you bring in an Amazon box. So he's pissing all over the place because he's scared. He thinks he's in trouble. He gets his first bath. Loves getting toweled off, though.
Mm-hmm.
Idiot will run outside in the rain and come right back in, pretending he got to go out and take a leak. He'll come back inside just because he wants to get toweled off. Okay, fine, whatever. So now, I place the order while we're laying in bed, smelling skunk. Because little did we know he got our pillows, too, that little prick. Place the online order for white vinegar, for a big thing of baking soda, and a big bottle of Dawn dish detergent from BJ's at midnight. 7 o'clock the next morning, I get the text message. Your order's ready for pickup. Fantastic. They don't open till 8, but that's fine. I pick it up, start putting vinegar in little bowls all over the place, putting baking soda in the wash, trying to wash down with the paste with the dogs, and 92 degrees outside. I'm like, why is the air conditioner not? Damn, it's 77. How hot is it outside? The air conditioner's not. How's it 77 in this house? I put my hand down to the vent. It's not blowing cold air. Oh, what the hell? I look out the window. the fan on the condenser outside is not spinning. 90 plus degrees. I got the smell of gasoline and anger going on in my house, and the central air decides to not work. Okay. I talked to Kim. I start calling places around. One place wanted, this is 4th of July. On 4th of July. Kim, one place, the lady told me straight out, it's going to be $250. The minute I take your address, it's $250 for them to come out, and that's before they even look at anything.
Oh, jeez.
You can go. Would you like me to pick a song from Wesley Willis's greatest hits, and I'll play it for you? Because that's what's. Call a couple other places. We can't get there till Thursday. Oh, luckily, I had the ability to phone a friend.
Yeah, it's important.
And he says, we're texting back and forth, and he says, "Okay, do you have a multimeter?" I said, "Of course I do. It's not a professional one, but I have one." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Can you do that? Can you take the cover off?" "Yes, I can." Hold on. Now, mind you, it's outside, and I have to go to the basement to turn off the main breaker for the central air. So I'm up and down the steps, and of course, the multimeter is actually down here in my office and not in the garage where it should have been because, well, I'm lazy in that respect. As you can tell, my office is not exactly the pinnacle of cleanliness here. So I finally pull the disconnect outside. He's like, "Okay, can you pull the fuses?" "Yes, I can." "Check. What's your multimeter read when you touch the leads together?" "0. "Okay, good. What's it do when you touch the fuses?" OL. "Okay, that means the fuses are bad. Take some pictures for me. I want to see what else." "Capacitor's dead." "Oh." It's like, "Okay, here are the parts you need. Let me know if you can't get them." Okay. Luckily, I found a supply shop. I was able to get the parts and actually fix my own central air thanks to that phone a friend. So, Sunday. We're sitting there. We're just relaxing. Finally, catching a break. And Willie has a seizure. Willie is our 15-and-a-half-year-old Yorkie.
Mm-hmm.
He had one 6 weeks ago. No idea why. We have a glucose meter because we thought maybe his blood sugar was bad. Check his blood sugar's fine. So this is basically one of those we don't know, and we're probably never going to know because we're not going to spend $3,000 on a CAT scan or an MRI just to find out, yeah, there's nothing you can do. So right after that, when Willie's finally settled down, Kim proceeds to tell me that we have more baby fish.
When did you start having baby fish?
Well, the better question would be, when did we start having fish? Because we got these stupid. This is why we can't go to like Petco after a night of drinking, because we got these stupid six for $5 silver cloud minnows or white cloud minnows or some kind of freaking minnows or SS minnows.
But hold on. Minnows are bait. They're not fish that you keep. They're bait.
Guess what? Not anymore. They're also referred to as the poor man's tetra.
Ugh.
So we have, not only do we have, so we have the main tank in the spare bedroom where what I refer to them as the COVID fish, because these are the only stupid fish that decide to have babies during year and a half. We never had a baby in these tanks. Now we got babies because of COVID. That's what I'm blaming it on. So we got that tank in the spare bedroom. We got the beta fish living in his own tank in the living room. And now we have a holding tank in the bathroom for the damn COVID babies. That, by the way, are about the size of the head of a match, if you're lucky. How Kimberly sees these things in the tank I don't know, but they're sitting there. She's like, "We got babies." Are you what? The final insult to injury. We have the hummingbird feeder out back. I am allergic to bees. There's a swarm of bees hanging around the GD hummingbird feeder. Do we have anything we could spray on to kill them? Gasoline. We could just burn this bitch to the ground and start over somewhere. Because I'm about done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I come back to work today. And surprisingly, I've never felt so happy to go back to work. To finally gain some kind of normalcy. And I have not gotten to tell this story to anybody at work yet, because eventually I'm going to have a meeting with folks that knew why I took off last week. They're going to ask, so how'd it go? How much time you got? Do you want the Cliff Notes or you want the full version? Because I can bulletize it for you. If you give me a day, I'll put it in a PowerPoint for you.
I had something slightly similar, Mike. So for COVID, well, just general, I'm living in my parents' house, and so I didn't spend a couple of months all alone, which would have been annoying. But I didn't drive my car for several months.
Yeah.
And I went to check on it, and the battery's dead. So I plugged in. So I got a charger, opened the hood up, and discovered that some wasps decided that under the hood was a good place for a nest.
I had a buddy who they made a nest in the hinge of his passenger door. He used it so infrequently.
I remember when I had the Jeep, I went to go buy a dress shirt or work clothes or something from Men's Warehouse. And I got to the parking lot and I saw a bee on my side mirror of my driver's side. I got out and I had a water bottle from my hockey game behind me. I grabbed that, started spraying the thing from like 4 feet away, and about 19 more come out. So they built a nest behind the mirror of a vehicle that I drove every damn day.
Sounds like a plot for some of our movies we watch.
So listen, the whole dead battery thing. Since I got the Explorer, I got the app that I can get like remote start. The damn thing messaged me a couple weeks ago and said, "You haven't driven in a while. How about scheduling a start?" Do what now? Schedule a start. Okay.
I would have done that,
I
but
apologize
because no one gas this all started.
I have not been checking. I was not looking at the thing. So, Mama Blair, thanks for tuning in. Do men ever really learn how to aim? Yes, damn it, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Let me let you in on a little secret here, Mama Blair. Okay. When I was a single man living in what I refer to as the postage stamp apartment, I was dating someone who decided she wanted to put a fuzzy seat cover on my toilet. She wasn't living with me. Put a fuzzy seat cover on my toilet and start putting some girly stuff around. So I took it off. She put it back on. I peed on it and used the excuse that because you put the damn fuzzy thing on there, I did not hear water. So I just kept trying to, I thought I was aiming wrong. So, yes, we learn how to aim, but just like in the Army, some of us are riflemen, some of us are snipers. And what's this here? went to the pet store to get a new dog harness and came home with a new bird. A new bird? What kind of bird?
Parakeet. So
Okay.
she at one point had more parakeets, but the other parakeets died. So I had one parakeet, and it was at the point where it's either make the parakeet disappear or get a second parakeet to make it happy.
Okay.
Because it was very loud. So now the old bird now has a baby bird, and instead of screeching all the time, they're just fighting all the time. But that's less noise.
Okay.
The baby bird doesn't have flight feathers, so it kind of climbs up to the top, and then the other bird knocks it back down to the ground again, and it climbs back up.
Okay. You do you, boo. What can I tell you?
Oh, yeah. So, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, I'd love to say this isn't like our normal show, but I can't. Pretty much, you listen to us complain about our normal lives. Occasionally, we do talk about some topics. The last few weeks, it's been centered around coronavirus, which, we're trying to take a little bit of a break from that today, but you'll notice it still does go in there from time to time. But, we're curious to know how you guys are spending all of your time. You've heard us talk about our construction woes, our, all the things that have frustrated us. We're sure that there's plenty out there that have frustrated other people. So it's just, it's really just a time for you guys to chime in as well. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Go ahead, just at PTR Radio, or just put a comment, and Mike will keep an eye on it and throw it up there. You get your couple seconds of fame if he so chooses your message to showcase.
I pretty much choose them all. Listen, let's talk about let's get at least one topic off the white sheet out of the way here.
So which one do you want to go?
Oh, I know which one I want to go with, because it's sadly, this is probably the safest one.
Okay.
Because this is the one that everyone is going to say is a freaking terrible idea. And it's FRICKEN, terrible idea.
Uh-huh. What?
There was a model in
okay.
Sweden who decided she was going to take melanin injections because she wanted to become black. I'm not making this up, people.
No, we can't make this up. It's too difficult.
I wish I made this up. I think this is one thing. I don't care which side of the Lives Matter spectrum or what position on the Lives Matter spectrum you're on. Okay? This is the one thing that I think we all can agree on is the worst idea in the history of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that if we lived in a society where the remake of Soul Man, the classic C. Thomas Howell movie from the 1980s?
Yeah, pretty sure it was 80s, yeah.
If this would be how it would be remade.
Yeah.
But everyone knows this cannot be remade. Yes, there it is. That don't even look like the same damn model, because I just noticed her jugulars down there, and she did more than melanin injections, unless the injections were right into those mammary glands. No.
Yeah.
How did I not notice that during the first time? She went from a toothpick to smuggling watermelons, for God's sake. How did that happen? And she's German. She's German. I'm sorry. Not Sweden. She's a German model. German. Oi. No. Sit.
According to the outlet, Big recently went to Kenya to become baptized and now goes by the name Malika Kubwa. Since I became a black woman, I have worked intensively to learn more about culture and the history of black people. I am more comfortable saying of people who have transitioned from male to female than I am saying the phrase "since I became a black woman" about someone.
That is not a phrase that should ever come out of anyone's mouth.
No,
because you either are or you aren't. That this is not something you can become unless you are a black child to become a black woman. And even now, I'm afraid that I'm saying this and it's offensive.
Well, remember, it wasn't that long ago we had that lady who she was married to a black man and she said that she identified as a black woman. Remember that? She was like the head of like an NAACP
or something.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She didn't say I am a black woman. She said I identify as a black woman. She didn't say this.
Herself all that.
She passed herself off, but I don't think she ever said I am a black woman.
Oh, she did back. Yes.
Did she back then? Okay.
Yeah,
so
Rachel Doziel. Yes.
Yes.
So we have two people being this bad.
Well, I would say that this one is arguably worse. At least Rachel just, was very tanned.
Rachel identified herself as mixed race on an application and had claimed that an African-American man was her father. In the aftermath, she received public scrutiny when her white parents publicly stated she was passing as black. So it came out that she lied that she was mixed race.
Yeah.
So she actually tried to...
I don't think it's as bad as this.
Oh
no! This one is in permanent blackface.
And not only that, but in another paragraph it says the former white woman.
No. Wait, I don't remember this movie. I probably should. What is Black Like Me? I feel like this is a movie I need to watch.
Well, there was a book. Let's see here. Black Like Me, 1964, starring James Whitmore. American drama film based on the 1961 book. The journalist disguised himself to pass as an African-American man for 6 weeks in 1959 Deep South to report on life in the segregated society from the other side of the color line. Okay, not a comedy. Not a comedy. All right, Soul Man, definitely a comedy.
Yeah.
Soul Man, as much a comedy as the Eddie Murphy skit where he dressed up in whiteface and went to the bank. And they had party. One of the greatest skits of Saturday Night Live history.
Yes.
He went to the bank and he said, "Yes, I'd like to apply for a loan." He closes the door and he goes, "How much do you need?" And he just pushes him. Take it.
Take the money.
Pay us back. We don't care. One of the greatest skits of all time. In fact, I got reprimanded. Well, I didn't get reprimanded, but I got told the other day, and I don't think I talked about this on the last show, but I got told, my boss made mention of it, because evidently I was screen sharing during a conference call or something, and I don't even remember this being on my screen. I don't know why it would have been on my screen, but I was screen sharing my web browser, and he specifically noticed that either, like, you know how when you bring up Google, it shows the little icons of things you've looked at before, right? It's got the 6 most recently looked at sites or whatever. Or maybe it's just when you bring up a brand new tab.
That's if you open a tab in
a blank
Firefox,
tab. Yeah. So I guess I had done that to then click in to go to a website that we were working on. And he goes, you probably should remove that bookmark for that Key and Peele skit. I'm like, huh?
You did bring it up last.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, but we may have new people. Who knows?
And I'm like really?
When people know they're getting deja vu. Yes,
oh, okay. So but I was just I'm like, Key and Peele was a popular show. It's still a popular YouTube thing. If anything, they were probably making fun of white people. which I'm totally on board with. You know? So, but okay, fine. I will change my open new tab so that it doesn't show anything.
So, Silver Streak with Gene Watt. Listen, anything with Richard Pryor pretty much had a racial tone to it.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I can remember. The toy? Oh my God. We've talked about that before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles?
Blazing Saddles. Wait, Richard Pryor was in
but he was actually supposed to be the sheriff.
Well,
okay.
He was one of the writers. So there was 3 people who wrote Blazing Saddles. Richard Pryor is one of them.
Right, but they specifically wanted to cast Richard Pryor, but he had a conflicts with the schedule, so they went with the other actor instead.
Oh no, it wasn't a conflict with the schedule. It was the studio refused.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so yeah, this is a really interesting. She claimed her hair and eyes had changed to become more. She claimed her hair and eyes had changed to become more African.
No,
these are just a few examples of the most obvious changes she claimed. Many of my changes are very slow but continuous. If my transformation continues to be so good, I will soon be identical to other black women.
No, you won't.
She's getting more plastic surgery.
You know, Deputy Chief Executive of the Race and Equality Foundation says she has a very limited understanding of what it means to be black or an ethnic minority today and the challenges faced. I completely agree with Jeber Butte in that context. So, yeah, no, you can't. You can. That doesn't. No. No, that woman, I think we can all universally, this is one of those hands across America things. We can all universally hate that woman.
This is like pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
And normal pizza. We have a common enemy, and that is the people putting mayonnaise and peas on their friggin' pizza. I will jump across a bar and fight somebody if I ever saw them eating a pizza with peas and mayonnaise on it. I'll be going to jail, and the judge will acquit me. Be like, "What happened, Your Honor? He ordered a pizza with peas and mayonnaise. Case dismissed. You're
good to go.
Justifiable. Go."
There is no such thing as being transracial. You can't have you can't have a black guy decide he's really a white guy, and then take somebody else to court for discriminating against him for being black when he's not black. He's really white. It's just that does not work. That is not a thing.
It's funny. The Wikipedia article, speaking of for transracial, actually says by far the most well-known example of a self-identified person in the English-speaking world is Rachel Dolezal. Who we just talked about. Yeah. Martina Big, who was featured on Murray, is another woman of white ancestry. She was and Jadu, a trans woman who was born Caucasian but now considers herself Filipina. Those are the three examples listed in Wikipedia.
I love Carlos and Isabel, but I got to ask the dumb question here. If you were going to be transracial, I can't even say the word right. It's not a real word. If you were going to be transracial and you had anything in the world, trans ethnicity, and anything in the world, what would possess you to pick Filipino?
Well,
out of the millions of possibilities out there, did I miss something?
So this Martina Big thing, I just realized. So this first came out, I think, in 2017. She actually has a Wikipedia entry.
2015, actually. She was on the German TV channel Explosive Weekend, followed up by the German version of Punked in 2015.
So according to the Wikipedia entry, she actually has the biggest breast implants in the world.
Ugh.
because they're expandable. I guess she can attach them to a pump and make them bigger on demand. So she's just like that woman who made herself look like Barbie.
That, or the one that made her look like Catwoman or the Cowardly Lion.
Yeah,
or both.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah. So not good. Not good.
No.
Now, let's see here. There are so many things on our list that I don't want to get to.
No, it's true, because I hate to say it, but so much of the crap that's going on, like, I don't know. Okay, so
I think we'll just read the headlines. We won't go into the articles. Here's the headlines for things that we're not going to talk about. Okay. People of color exempt from wearing masks in Oregon County. Jenna Slate apologizing for voicing a black character on Netflix and resigned from the show.
Hold on. We can talk about this Oregon one, because we just have to give a clarifier. The reason they are exempt in this county is the people of color who have heightened concern about racial profiling and harassment due to wearing face coverings in public are being granted an exception. And I do believe that it's tied into the fear that people of color face right now.
Yeah. And, there are fears with no basis in reality, like people who are deathly afraid of,
clowns,
paper cuts. And then there's actual real fears where I'm like, I can either help protect myself from COVID and get shot, or maybe I'll get COVID and I won't get shot. And I'm not being me, because not a problem I have.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another headline we're not going to go talk about. Dixie Chicks drop Dixie from their name.
Well, no, we are going to talk about this one because I didn't even know they were still a group.
Well, yeah, they were a group.
Oh, yeah.
They're still trying to figure out what to do with Earl.
I thought they broke up a long time ago.
Disney's Splash Mountain to be rethemed to Princess and the Frog.
That's specious.
Woman who praised KKK apologizes, vows to never wave Confederate flag again after saying she will teach her grandchildren to hate African Americans. Texas realtors will stop using the word master to describe bedrooms and bathrooms.
This one.
Mike Henry, the white actor who has voiced Cleveland on The Family Guy and The Cleveland Show for 20 years, is stepping down from his role, saying that a black character should be voiced by a person of color. Hulu removes Golden Girls episode over mud mask blackface.
Okay, and we can talk about this one because they are literally getting raked over the coals now for this being the most pointless correction they could possibly do.
Yeah.
It literally was a mud mask. The line they said in the episode literally is, "These are mud masks, we're not really black." And it was Rose that said it. Rose and Blanche. Rose said that line. And they were this was the episode where Dorothy's son was going to marry an older, Dorothy's son who was white was going to marry an older black woman, and the families were colliding. So, honestly, we watch the Golden Girls every weekend.
Yeah.
Saturdays it's Roseanne, Sundays it's Golden Girls. And I am surprised that this cancel culture world that we're living in has not said Blanche tried for half of the series to become a member of Sisters of the South or Confederate, some society
Yeah.
that was based in the South. I'm surprised that they haven't tried to get it pulled, saying that her character has ties to Confederacy. Just get the whole series pulled.
Yeah.
Shelve it with George Lopez.
Yeah. I mean, you know, yeah. Okay.
I absolutely hate this side effect that we're seeing. This cancel culture that's taken over everything right now. Somebody did something wrong when they were 12 years old.
Oh, speaking of that,
somebody made a joke when they were a
speaking
kid.
Allegedly, Adam Savage, former MythBusters host, accused of rape in sister's lawsuit. Not a rape that happened recently, but a rape that supposedly happened over 40 years ago by a sister who has repeatedly brought different family members before the court for personal financial gains. We're not going to talk about that one.
No.
Let's see here. We will talk about. There was one here that I just wanted to talk about. Rate My Room, a new Twitter account that's being created because we are in the era of the conference call, right? If you want to talk about one technology that's taken off and that everyone is now familiar with, whereas before they maybe weren't as intimate with it as before. Everybody has now been, everyone from a grandma to, the kids now have video conferencing, right? Whether it's for school or whatever. And someone decided now's a great idea. Now that we have all these people coming out of the woodwork to showcase their conference calls, let's start rating people's rooms that they're doing the conference calls in. And so Rate My Skype Room was created to specifically rate celebrities, newscasters, politicians, etc., all people that would normally qualify for our celebrity death pool, rate their streaming setup in their houses. Because as we all know, everybody's broadcasting from home now. I mean, it's just what's happening. So you can see things like, for example, here, nice gallery wall, deduct 1 point for salmon paint color, how's Oprah? Or leather guitar, great hues, is ScarJo being socially distant? Channeling Elvis Costello, is that Teddy R 9 out of 10?
If that is Teddy Roosevelt, he might actually lose a point now, depending on who's.
Conan, is this a Holiday Inn Express? Sophisticated, elegant, classic, Michelle Obama.
Of course.
Then Dr. Phil, dark like your soul. Oprah got you wrong. Here, organized and tidy, but a few plants would soften the overall vibe. So, but you start to notice trends. So look, bookshelves. All right, nice art, nice substitute for the obligatory bookcase. Trevor Noah, we've got books in the background. We know that he can read. Oh look, James Corden, books. Actually, those are probably records. But you do notice these things. Here's Ellen. She's not having a good day. Things are rough for Ellen, evidently, right now.
Yes. People are having fun telling stories about what a horrible person she is.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was neat, and it actually got me to thinking, boy, I wish more people, because I work for the state. Not a lot of people in the state actually put on their web cameras when we do video conferencing. I don't know what it is, but they don't put on their web cameras. I'm one of the few people that do. And now it's mostly because they're all curious as to what flag I'm going to be flying in the background, to cover up my passwords. But so I counted the other day, I have 36 flags that I can choose from on any day to put up in the background. So it's dealer's choice, really. as to what I'm going to be flying that day.
So, we did have one other thing on the white sheet I did want to talk about, and that is the Princess Bride remake.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I actually signed up for that app because it had like 2 weeks free or something like that. And I gotta say, it has been so far. I think it wasn't posted up all at once. I think more of it got posted today, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But so far, it has been hilarious. I will say that Rainn Wilson does a really good Wallace Shawn. But what's great is they keep changing, who's actually doing the acting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a continuous change of all these different things. And I think they should just keep doing this because there's all those movies that we've said in the past should never be remade.
Yeah.
But the idea of people just making of actual Hollywood stars shooting pieces of it themselves and putting it together as a big movie, it's great. It's
kind of like a Be Kind Rewind. You remember that Jack Black movie?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly like that.
Where they sweeted.
Yeah. So, I think it would kind of be cool to have some, because to me, that's what this kind of seems like, right? So if you could get, a small group of actors together to do that. It's like, I heard MLB, the Major League Baseball was actually thinking about because they're wondering what to do in the face of all this, right? They were actually thinking about, some of the players were thinking about getting together and playing essentially a sandlot game, on just pick a field anywhere USA that wasn't a Major League field. They were going to broadcast it and donate the money to COVID relief. Just a pickup baseball game. And I think it would be cool if you could do the same thing with do a 3-on-3 basketball thing. Get 6 of the high paying basketball stars to get out there on just what would be really funny is just some court. So some random court, not even like their home courts or anything like that, but get those just like NASCAR did. Mike, we talked about it on the last show. NASCAR did the virtual racing, right? Where they had the and that was truly exciting from what I remember talking about, that it really brought some new life to the sport because it really gave opportunity to guys who hadn't had it, because they had some guy who had barely ever placed, who did really well.
They had a guy Timmy Hill, who's a regular in the Cup Series, but with I'm going to say, not a tier 1 team. They're basically referred to as field fillers.
Mm-hmm.
If they finish on the lead lap, then it's a good day.
Yeah.
And he won. So, he won, I think, the second week. And he did it a lot of these drivers all had sim rigs where they had the 3 monitors and the actual in the wheel with the shifter and all. He did it on a laptop at a desk in a chair with a Thrustmaster plain old steering wheel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's got the old plastic pedals maybe on the floor. You know?
And some of the sim rig manufacturers reached out to him. They were ready to hook him up. And he's like, no, don't want it.
No.
Don't want it. Don't need it. Give it to somebody who does. Because, okay.
Yeah. And it's just it's bringing some fun back to some certain things. So
while we're talking about NASCAR real quick, before we get to the movie review, which
it's going to be a little bit
of time because we're only doing one.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different tonight, folks.
So I'm wearing AfterShokz, and I've been wearing them for a while. And it was brought to my attention. They were brought to my attention when they first sponsored a NASCAR car driven by Bubba Wallace. Everybody knows Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows him.
Yeah.
And I've been looking. I've been like, AfterShokz really doesn't have any endorsements or any kind of thing anymore. I'm like, what the hell happened? Well, they sure as hell ain't aligned with Bubba Wallace anymore, because Bubba Wallace just signed a huge endorsement deal with Beats by Dre.
Oh, geez.
And the company's already stepping up to defend the driver against El Guapo Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently President Trump is demanding an apology from Bubba Wallace. So, movies. Let's talk about what happened with the movies. I don't want to go down that road.
Who had more money, Aftershocks or Apple?
Well, that's easy enough. But.
Yeah. So, this evening, we were slated to watch Second Sight, a 1989, I believe it is, comedy featuring John Larroquette, Bronson Pinchot, and somebody else. And also Winter Break, who, to my knowledge, only features what's his name from the American Pie movies. So, those were the two movies that we were set up to watch tonight. Now, which movie do we want to start with, both of you?
I guess Winter Break.
Okay, so we will let Colin kick this off with Winter Break. All right?
Okay.
All right, Colin.
Winter Break. So, as Shaggy just mentioned, there was one actor from American Pie in this movie. And everything I could see says this movie was supposed to be another Winter Pie-ish movie about a guy who's now, graduated from college, loses his job before he even starts it. There's some subplot about Buffalo, New York, which I didn't quite understand. I mean, is there something about Buffalo, New York that those of us who don't live in New York don't know about? Is that like the worst place in the world, according to people who live in New York? Because I know there's a place in New York named Buffalo. And that's the extent of my knowledge of Buffalo, New York. As far as I know, it's a wonderful place. I don't know. So instead, he is shanghaied by his, drunk by his friends and taken to Aspen, and then proceeds to end up staying in Aspen for an entire year while pursuing a woman who already has a boyfriend who is standard douche for this type of movie. So we're watching this movie, and it's like it was very clear that this was an R-rated movie. I don't know why this movie was an R-rated movie. Unless there was some nudity or somebody got killed when I wasn't watching. I couldn't figure out. Was this version like edited and then they left the movie? I don't understand the R rating. It just didn't make any sense, because this movie seemed to be like a romping movie that would be like American Pie or something like that, but instead it was just this long, not very funny relationship movie, and there are parts of it that's like maybe it could have done something interesting. Maybe it could have been a real, coming of age thing. But there was some stuff with this guy finally getting a job, and I don't say this is like a poster film for a get a job. For everybody's like that whole millennials never not really working. This is like a movie showing them not working, especially in Aspen, which is a very, very expensive place. I don't see. So I was watching this movie, going, no, you don't have enough money to rent an entire house in Aspen by teaching skiing to little kids. That doesn't work that way. I don't know. I'm not sure what this movie was supposed to be. That was my biggest problem with this movie. It just didn't really start. It could have been an interesting character thing of this guy learning how to get to work and still. I don't know. I don't. This is a burp of a movie.
All right. Colin votes burp. Mike, you're up next.
Okay, hold on a minute. What are these black bars on the side of my screen?
What do you mean black? Oh, yeah.
And were these credits done on an Apple IIc or something? Because, I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw a square picture movie. That's Anna Faris? She got a credit in this movie, and she's in the movie. She just pulled a Warwick, and she was in this movie for 30 seconds and barely recognizable. Completely random forced adventure. In some states, that's how they define kidnapping. The blonde chick that plays Michelle, she played Walden's social worker in 2.5 Men when they decided they wanted to adopt Lewis, and I still don't know. I've watched that season many times on Nick at Night. I don't know what happened to Lewis after they adopted him. It's like they adopted him and then they sent him off to boarding school because he was never seen again. The other blonde, Kirsten, she played the judge's daughter in Mystery Alaska after this. So, before this. And she went on to play, this was a step down. What the hell happened to you? Where did you get a dog? What did I miss? When did the dog show up? Before Netflix and chill, there was VHS and Nap. And she has a boyfriend? Hooker. So this is where I really started to lose it with this movie. Because there were red flashes on Amazon Prime every minute to 2 minutes. Come and go. Just red flash. And then skips a few frames, red flash. Did somebody piece this together using pirated software off of YouTube clips or something? Was it ripped? Is that why the red... What? I tried Firefox. I tried Chrome. I tried Edge. The new Edge, which Microsoft snuck in on me like spyware, for God's sakes. Like all of a sudden I got this little wave-looking thing in the Edge. Okay, tried that. I even downloaded... Did I get disconnected?
No, you're here. Mike, we can hear you.
Did I?
No, you're here. Nope, Mike,
Did
you're still here. You're here.
I get disconnected?
No, we see. Mike, we're here. You're here. Okay, now you got disconnected. Hi, Mike.
What the hell? Okay,
I don't know. You dropped from us for like 1 second after you went. Did I get disconnected? Did I get what the? So you're
up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Microsoft stuck this new Edge on me. I even downloaded Prime Video for Windows from the Microsoft Store, which I didn't even know there was a thing, and I still got these red flashes. And angry. I even downloaded it on the Prime Video, thinking if it was a local copy. No, red boxes. 45 minutes left. I'm ready to tap out because these red flashes. It's like Mother Russia is trying to subliminally make me a Republican or make me hate Amazon or I don't know. Be well, work hard. I don't know. Put polarized glasses on. Maybe I'll see aliens. I don't know. 30 minutes left. The red flashes seem to have gone, or at least they're less frequent. So now they're in the diner. You know you're in a classy place when they have the glass carafes of water on the table with the lemon in them, but then they give you plastic cups to drink. Dude finally is gonna hook up with Michelle, and oh, by the way, y'all talking about the dude from American Pie. The main character is Milo Ventilate, who played Peter in Heroes. Nobody caught that one, or Jack in what's that sappy show that everybody with Mandy Moore that all the women think is like This Is Us. He's the main character. He's the father who died in This Is Us. Anyway, he's going to sleep with Michelle, finally. And, bro, close the blinds. The blinds in the bedroom are all wide open. And his friends are all a bunch of pervs. You know they're going to be... The movie itself gets a meh. If you really want to watch a ski-based love story, go watch Ski School, or no, Ski Patrol,
Yeah.
or Better Off Dead.
Hot Dog.
Or Hot Dog, the movie. That's right. The playback for this goddamn movie gets a violent, chunky puke through my nose because my mouth is duct taped shut.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm up next. Okay. So, winter break. 10 minutes in. My wife turns to me and goes, "Who picked this? This is horrible. Is it going to get any better?" I don't know why she asked me these questions. I've told her a million times. It's a random number, and Amazon or Netflix recommends them. And I don't know if it's going to get any better because I haven't seen this before. This is not one of my, hey, I've seen this, you guys need to see this too. 20 minutes in. It hasn't gotten any better. It's still slow. This is an ad for why you should not go to college and you should go into the trades instead. Because $250,000 for college, that was his student loan payments. That's a lot. That's a lot. And the beginning of this movie really sounds like Secret of My Success. So, with that said, 30 minutes in, red flashing starts. And it's not the good kind of like Amsterdam red light district that I prefer. All right. This is annoying as all hell. Audio cuts out for a couple seconds. Bloop, fast forward. Red flashing. I know. I'm watching this on Roku. I will go back to the home menu. I'll hit play again. And we'll see if it does it. Sometimes it's just a streaming error. It did it again. Damn it, it's doing it more often. I'm out. I can't do this. So I left at the point where he had been in the friend zone for 3 months with the woman. Obviously, from my other people's ratings, it got no better. I am with Mike. Don't watch this movie if you like ski funny movies. Watch Hot Dog. Watch Ski Patrol. Watch Ski School 2 before you watch this movie. All right? This movie is bad. Bad, bad, bad. And the only reason why it gets an R rating is not because of the good parts of Hot Dog or any of the other movies. It's because they use curse words, which should not count towards an R rating. All right? That should have like a PG-13 naughty, naughty, naughty rating. All right? R should be reserved for boobage only. All right? That's what it should be. That way I know what to expect. Because I fully expected that when I saw this movie. I thought, yes, we have the guy from American Pie. We have an R rating. We're going to see some flesh. And I was okay. The only exciting part of this movie was when I went to my wife and said, hey, that guy's got a Jesus jacket, kind of like what I used to wear. And she goes, what the heck's a Jesus jacket? And I said, see that guy that was doing the Bob Ross painting? She goes, yeah. I said, you see the rug he's wearing? She goes, yeah. I said, that's a Jesus jacket. I used to have one. I bought it in New Mexico. I'd like to have another one. I see that they sell them at a farm and home store. Christmas is coming. If they have my size, I'd like one. So that was the most exciting part of the whole movie for me, was explaining to her what a Jesus jacket was. So I have to give this a did not complete because I didn't finish watching it, but what I saw was horrible. And like Mike, I want to hurt Amazon for the quality of that rip. I have seen German subtitled Chinese rips that are better quality than that, done with a handy cam. All right? That's how bad this one was. That stupid X-Men knockoff with the guy who turned into a bear that was dubbed into English.
Guardians!
I would rather watch the trilogy of that doesn't exist.
Would you watch The Cobbler?
I would rather watch The Cobbler than watch all these damn red flashes again.
So
Now,
Mama Blair has an interesting theory. The red flashes cover the R-rated scenes.
I don't think so, because they were just out of nowhere. They weren't even like they didn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the red flashes because I figured it was something on my side. I was watching it on the Amazon Fire TV, and it's kind of old, so I figured it's just something else going on.
No.
I seriously tried every option. I looked for it on other platforms to try and find it. And then when I started reading the reviews on Amazon that specifically said red flashes, this apparently has been going on for a while.
That's horrible.
And Amazon don't give a damn.
All right. So our second movie is Second Sight, like I said, starring John Larroquette. So Colin, I guess we will start off with you for this one. All right?
Huh?
Colin, Second Sight, your review.
Yeah. So they charged money. I guess July 1st was the last day you could watch the feds. So it's actually a movie I have never seen.
All right. Did not complete for Colin. All right. So that's not great. All right. All right. Mike the Ape Man, your take on Second Sight.
Well, based on my week, this was going to be the last movie that I watched because I had seen it when I was a kid because I was a fan of Balky Bartokomous and John Larroquette and even Bess Armstrong. Bess Armstrong I only knew from Jaws 3D at that point in my life. I did not make the July 1st deadline. Therefore, I did not get to see it again. But I will remember seeing this movie and saying, goddamn, Bronson Pinchot, please just go back to being bulky. So I just based off of my memory and some of the bad special effects that were in it, like, do you remember a movie with Chevy Chase where he had like magical powers?
Yes. It's considered one of his worst possible movies. Yes.
Modern
Okay.
Problems, 1981.
Yes,
Modern Problems, yes. So the special effects in Modern Problems barely rival, from what I remember, the special effects in Second Sight. Therefore, I'm going to give this one a burp because I don't remember it being that good. I really had no desire to watch it again anyway. But it's just further proof that some actors are meant to be on the small screen and some cannot cross over. And I believe Bronson Pinchot should have just stuck with TV.
Mm-hmm. Valid point. All right, so I'll play cleanup here. So Second Sight, kind of, that and Vibes, I got confused on the last episode. So shortly after the last episode, I took the initiative. And I said, I'm going to watch both. And I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget. Because I want to make sure that I wasn't, mercilessly mocked for having the wrong one in my head. So I did have an opportunity to watch Second Sight on Tubi for free. And then last night, because I had told my wife, I'm like, well, hey, we both like Night Court. You like, John Larroquette. I think you'll like this movie too. So I went to go put it on and it wasn't there. And so, but then I said, it's on Amazon, $2 to rent it. What the heck? Let's throw them a couple of dollars. Amazon's kind of a struggling local company anyway, so, I'm sure they could use the cash. The times are tough for everybody, I hear. So I put it on, and I'm laying there, and even though I just seen it, I'm still laughing. 'Cause I think there's some genuinely funny parts in Second Sight. I will admit, it has cheesy special effects, and I actually got asked, what's with all the squiggly blue lines? And I had to explain, well, that's them visualizing telekinesis, because it's a movie. But, I still laughed at certain points. And I had to, explain to my wife why certain points were funny to me. And she explained again that this is just another one of my dumb movies that only I seem to enjoy. And as we have seen tonight, that appears to be universally the case. Because I did enjoy Second Sight, and I am going to give it a smile. Okay? Now, with the caveat that I did watch Vibes first, okay? And Vibes would have merely gotten a meh. Because even though it has a more star-studded cast, all right, of Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum, as well as Columbo, not as good of a movie, honestly, as Second Sight. Not as funny. So, if you have to pick between the two psychic movies of the late 80s, pick Second Sight. It might be worth your $2, depending upon how juvenile your mind is. So that's where I end up with tonight. The Lone Ranger, the only one to actually watch it. So, that kind of finishes us out for tonight. Mike, I did get a couple of recommendations for your deck in case you're not quite finished yet with it. We did get a few ideas for you of ways that maybe to make your life a little easier. So there's one that might have been an easier repair for you, or there might have been another possible way that you could have done it. So just in case you're not done yet and you're still looking for some more upgrades, possibly, just keep your mind open.
I'm more, before you put that down, I'm more concerned about that white thing in the lower left corner by the shadow there. That is the largest freaking clean out I have ever seen in my entire life. That's got to be for the septic for the entire trailer park.
Well, there's a toilet paper shortage. I'm not sure if you're aware. So, because of the amount of T-shirts they've been wiping themselves with, the city decided that would just be more economical to just send small children down there to clean it instead.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so let's, what are we up to here? 38, and I believe we've removed all voodoo.
Okay.
Off of here.
28.
28. Well, this can't be too bad. On Amazon, this is Line of Duty, which is an Aaron Eckhart cop movie.
Oh. Okay. So that ought to be interesting.
Which is it's an action movie, which is okay.
And the next one, number 20.
20. It's an action comedy on Netflix called. Wait a minute, did we watch this one already?
What one?
Hit and Run.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, because it's showing that it's 99 minutes, but I brought it up and it said resume 94 minutes. So
okay, well maybe we have, so we can pick another one.
Well, let's just look here real quick.
Determined to get his fiancée to L.A. to take advantage of an amazing opportunity, Charlie breaks out of witness protection program to drive her. Starring Kirsten Bell, Dax Shepard, and Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Unless it has a different name.
Okay, maybe. All right, that's fine. Maybe I watched it and I don't remember it, which is not a good sign. But
well, the writer is actually Dax Shepard on this one, so I don't know that that's a good sign. I don't know how many movies Dax Shepard has actually written. Okay, well, to answer the question, he wrote the movie Baby Mama, El Camino Christmas, which we remember how much we all love that one, Hit and Run, and evidently he's a writer on The Ranch.
But yeah, he was also on the last 2 seasons.
So, all right, so there we go. That is our movies for next week. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, no matter where you tuned in from, whether it's Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. Let us know how you tuned in. Just hit us up, friend us, like us, follow us, subscribe to us, hit the notification bell, whatever it takes so that you're alerted when we go live. Make sure that you do it. We want to make sure that you are aware of all of our latest shows. Also, make sure that you go to ptrradio.com. That's where you can check out more about the show, sign up for the podcast, find out more about each of us hosts. You know, next week, hopefully, or next show will be in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we won't have any major disasters, and there'll be a little bit more fun news that we can talk about. Unless there's yet another political, socio-economic disaster before then and now, that we have to trudge our way through. We prefer to bring you the laughs and the upbeat things that make your life a little bit easier and to get through. So that'll be July.
Before the next show, I am hoping there will be a commercial officially announcing Kanye West's run for president. That's the news we're waiting on, folks.
Yep. We need more laughs. More laughs, not less. So our next show is scheduled for 7/20. That's right, the 20th of July. We hope everybody had a safe and happy 4th of July. If you're not in this country, especially if you're